Welcome to Empyrion Galactic Survival Alpha 11.5, and here we're on the top of my capital vessel looking down on the ice planets that we checked out probably a few episodes ago. And the reason I've come back here is this is going to be the jumping off point to do a bigger jump to try and broaden our horizons with respect to planets that we can explore, and a little bit more about that in a minute. I just want to give a bit of an update. Now, if any of you watched the previous video, you'll be aware that I got myself in a little bit of trouble and I had to spawn the Arctic cat, which I didn't really want to do, but I didn't have any choice. And what I actually did is when we returned to the ship, I put one of the SVs into the hangar. What I've actually done is rearranged the SVs up here. I've been able to place them so I can park all three there. But a consequence of having to res the Arctic cat is that if I show you in here, we go to the library, I've got a hover vehicle here which I created ready to go, but I'm a little bit worried about the weight factor now because the Wayfarer is carrying a lot of weight and it's now got 3 SVs on the top, and I'm not sure if I res this, whether if I go down on the planet, because of course I'm going to have to land on the planet to deploy the hover vehicle, where I'm going to get off again. So I need to think a little bit about the weight loading with respect to that, and I'm kind of half thinking about maybe leaving a couple of SVs in space if I can find somewhere to park them, but that's something going forward into the future. Now the other thing I also need to do is, I'll just change this to player, is that of course I no longer have an SV or a ship that I can use to res in an emergency. So I'm going to just pick up some carbon substrate and we're going to come into here, and I was kind of thinking about this from the point of view of just getting a very basic ship, and say like a light fighter, let's see, or I think there's something even lighter. We've got a scout here. So if we go into their factory, so we just need some copper ingots. So what I'm kind of thinking is give myself a few more options. Oh, okay. It's not the ship I was looking at. Scouts, transport, not really like that. Light fighter, let's have a look at this one. Oops, no. Yeah, we got some carbon substrate. I'm just going to put some more in there. Actually, I'm going to put a big part. Oops, does not contribute to the blood. Okay, we're going to have to. Maybe we'll get a heavy fighter. All I want to do is just put some extra copper in there. That's just simply to give me the options. Should I actually, in fact, I'm just going to put, I mean, I've got no shortage of carbon substrate. So the idea is this is going to give me some options should I get into trouble again. And I'm probably, well, I should have shown this, but I'll just flip back again. If I go back to the library and go to the light scouts, and we go here, go to the factory, you'll see that I actually get an instantaneous production on this. So I don't think I actually need to pre-generate this. I think I can get away by having enough of these resources piled in here so that I don't actually have to kind of have something else in the library. That is enough of an introduction. Oh, the other thing also is, just check, big thank you to Master Martin. He's actually recommended me another hover vehicle, which is the MCR Ballista, and this is also from Jeff Randall, I think. If I can find it, well, we better get to here. I can find it. There we are. Again, I've got a similar problem as I had with the other ones, is that these are level 20. So what we're going to need to do is work on the small optronics bridges and the small optronic matrices. But what I want to do is hold off on one of these really heavy tanks until I've actually upgraded the Wayfarer. So if I come into here, what we need to do is take this up to tier 3, because then I'll be able to put a shield generator on this ship and enhance it a little bit more. So that's my thought process going forward. Now, the next thing I want to do is get down here is certainly need some oxygen. Now, where we're going to be going could have high radiation, so I just want to make a change to my armor. This will make sense, promises. And I think we'll take off a jetpack and put that there. And hopefully some of you may have got kind of picked up on the clue of what I'm talking about. So let's just get back up onto the bridge. So where are we actually going in this video? Well, I've been looking around possible targets and options, and I actually come across a small cluster. You can just see it on the horizon. Now I must admit, I just don't like the zoom in on this map. I'm sure it used to be a lot easier. Oops, I don't want that. Of course, what you get is these little tags on the routes here, which allow you to select where you want to go. The trouble is this one's stacked a little bit, but where we want to do is go to Murali orbit. If I can click it here, if I go over the top here, it says start cryo facility, equipment basic, tutorial no, difficulty very hard, blueprint factory disabled on the planet, solar power ineffective. Now, if any of you are not sure what I'm reading, this is the very hard start for Project Eden. And you can see it's got a planet and 2 moons. And I'm very curious about actually coming here. And what I want to do is go down on the planet and check it out, because I have actually played the very hard start off camera. And I'm just curious to take the opportunity to go there and explore it when I'm fully equipped and I'm not kind of struggling for every element of survival. So let's just build up the speed and off we go. And I assume that is the planet right in front of us. Let's turn off the boosters. Yeah, so that's what I want to do in this part, is quite literally go down, take a look at the planet and just see what's on it, because as I say, I've played the start, the initial area, but I never really took the game forward enough to see what else is on the planet. So if any of you are considering the hard start, look at this from the perspective of that this is a little bit of a cheat. So if you don't want to know what resources are available on this planet on a very hard start, maybe it's time to stop watching the video. But I'm just curious, very, very curious, and of course be aware that this may all change sometime in the future anyway. I think that's probably close enough. And first thing I want to do is just level off completely. Of course, we'll turn the thrusters off. I suppose I should harvest, but now which ship to take? I think, seeing we're going looting, we'll take the Merc MX5. We'll do the food first in the fridges here. I don't know why I keep taking these away. I think I'll put some emergency rations in here. I'll take some survival drinks with us just in case. I suppose we can just take energy bars and steaks. One thing I am going to do is find meds and plants. And we're going to, oops, I've already got a few of these anyway. Oh, we've got emergency rations in this fridge as well, which is, in fact, I've probably got too many emergency rations in here. Well, never mind. And what I want to do is take some anti-radiation ointment with me as well. Anti-radiation, I don't think we need the anti-radiation injection. So we've got some food in the fridge. I think that's about all the food we're going to need. And I think what we're going to do also is go to ship stores. I'm going to take some extra oxygen with me, and what I'm going to do is probably take about 30 of these, and we're just dumping. I've just taken quite a lot of fuel because I've got a feeling we're going to be down on this planet for a little while. I'm not expecting to use ammunition, but well, you never know. So let's just head down on the planet. The objective of this run through is to see what type of resources and survival resources are down on the planet. It will also probably help me pick up some key resources. The other thing I also want to do is actually find the cryo chamber start area. Hopefully with a bit of luck we may come across that. Of course we're coming down. I don't think the planet's that big. Lots of stuff around. are we? Ah, there's the cryo facility over there. And we've come right down on top of a wrecked small vessel. Well, we might as well start the exploration where we... Oh, check this out. I don't think I've ever really run into a small crash vessel before. So we're just going to land here, turn the thrusters off. There's also a red crystal there. You can see the radiation levels from radiation level 7. And this is one of the things that actually makes this planet such a tough start. Oh well, we got 1 pentaxid. Wow. For anyone who's never actually played the hard start for this scenario, you start in a cryo chamber, you get basic resources, you start with medium armor, so you can't and of course you can see the temperature's cold, and there's nothing in the fridges. Okay, there's a big box there. Well, oops, there. Let's just put this, get this set up properly. Back, container controller. Got perish time, so I'll put this in the fridge. I presume we can salvage. Yep. And right, let's start grabbing some stuff. I must admit, I'm not expecting massive. Whoops! I'll go out of the way. Yeah, I'm not expecting massive resources here or anything particularly special. I'm just curious to see what you can get. Well, just go away. Okay. Oh, of course. Got hail here. Ah. Right, we have to be a bit careful here. This is what I should have done in the first point. Ow. That's a... Yeah, it's not that much in here. I got a fuel tank there. I'm not going to spend too much time here. Ow. Needless to say, this is a pretty hostile planet. Now, the other thing about this planet is there's no like Xerox centers or anything like here. But the other thing you can't do is there's actually no resources on the planet either. So your whole starting position is based on getting out and looting. So if we just tag this cryo center, this is the place I really want to go. Partly curious to see whether if you come here as a visitor as opposed to the starter, whether you can actually get back inside. Oh, we got some alien supply caches, engine compartments. Wow. We got junk. Wow. Let's just check out the junk here. If any of you are actually considering playing this, be aware that... Oh, great. Okay, let's just do this another way. Wow, it's actually running. Now, this is a trick you can do for hostile planets. Now, I've got to push myself inside because I can't actually spawn the drone. But now, because I've got a rooftop hatch, what I should be able to do is... cannot change this structure. Thank you, game. Oh, we can take a look, see over the top of it, and maybe eventually the hail will stop. Wow, there's a lot of loot here. Oh well, we're just gonna have to go out and get hit by hailstones I think it's stopped actually. It's now overcast, so we're okay. Yeah, so that's a trick you can do. Okay, let's get here. Just say I'm only expecting very basic loot here. Wow. Food rations. Got here fuel tank tier 1. If you imagine that if you're coming down here to start in the survival start, this is what you're really looking for, because there's no ability to spawn blueprints here. What you've actually got to do is build your initial SV. You definitely need to build an SV, or well, I suppose you could get away with a hover vehicle. But you need to build this stuff from scratch. So there's a little bit of a test there. We've got a core. I think that could be useful. And another fuel tank. And I think that's about it. Now a lot of these kind of areas here have admin cores on them, so you can't actually take over. I think that's about it. I think we've got everything here. Yep. So that's something else you need to consider if you're actually doing the hard start. And I think somebody left a comment about using the night vision. I must admit, I'm not a big fan of the night vision, simply because I don't like the green and the slightly washed out green. I mean, if there was a way that you could customize the green and make it amber, be much better. Anyway, let's just another supply cache here. You see this washed out type weight effect because I've got the light on. This is what I don't like with the. Okay, let's just run this off a bit. What I wouldn't mind doing is, can we get any oxygen out of here? No. 129. No, there's not enough oxygen here. It's annoying. And never remember the way into these places. I think it's up here. If not, we can just do the there's a couple of grow plots here, so if we claim that either retrieve, we can get the grow plots. Oops, don't need that. See if we can open these. Okay, wow, we can open these as well. Don't really need a portable constructor. Retrieve the grow lamps in. We're getting the. Oops. Oh, that's because I'm working with the. Let's shove this in here. Hot beverage. You can certainly drop that there. You can go. Actually, we can use that and that. I would take the oxygen tank. So there is a concentration of resources around the admin cryo center. Otherwise you wouldn't actually survive out here very long otherwise. Let's just go back to just the light while we do the. I think these are admin cores, yep. So we can't actually destroy them. We're just gonna loop through here. And this is a supply cache. close here and just jump out. I mean, there's some reasonable loot around here as well. Wow, more electronics. Keep on doing that. Of course we can take the portable heater. Got a core. Of course, we've got the radiation immunity shots and anti-radiation items. And if any of you are considering actually doing this start, there's a little bit of a tip here that when you first come outside, if you get to one of these, you see the temperature goes up here. And so what you can actually do is stand here and overheat yourself. I can't get fuel out of there now because this is again is an admin core. Yeah, you can stand here and overheat yourself. And that gives you a little bit more capability to stay alive. Because the initial start can be a little bit fraught and desperate. Okay. So we've got this here. I mean, that's not that bad loot, actually, considering. Now, where's the cryo center? Oops, I've got turned round. And I'm probably going to lose track of. It's interesting that they don't actually show the junkyards and stuff on here. So again, if you're playing this and once you've got mobile and started to explore, be aware that you need to be fairly visual. We'll just go back to the spot items here. Now, here's an oxygen center. You can see that these are quite close round. And I think if I remember correctly, just get rid of that. Again, back to just normal lights. I think if we come here, we can actually pull oxygen out of here. 5, 6, 7. There's also a couple of things on the roof here. Got some water. There's another one close by. Might as well get some benefit from doing this. Yeah, so once you come out of the cryo facility over there, getting to these oxygen centers are quite important for your survival. Because you can see here, that's giving me 12 oxygen. And truthfully, I didn't really need to come bring the oxygen down with me, but never mind. Oops. We got up here some emergency oxygen. That could be quite useful in a survival situation. I mean, it's not necessary for me, but and just gonna whoops. I've left the hatch open. Never mind. Can get in that way. So what we're going to do is let's get over to the cryo facility. I'm just really curious to find out whether I can get back in, seeing this is not the start. I doubt very much if I will, but you never know. And of course, this is where you start, and this is the doors you come out, and yeah, you cannot get back in again. And what you've got is some lovely messages here. It says here, creative thinking is required to survive, improvise and adapt. Loot nearby caches for basic survival equipment, make full use of the anti-radiation medicine, take you over wreckage bases as temporary homes, continue to explore and loot to keep your O2 food radiation in check. Survival caches contain valuable equipment and supplies. Scavenge together resources to build a basic HV. Continue to loot and salvage to upgrade your HV and base. Break surface boulders and start a mushroom farm to gain XP. Build an SV to escape the planet. And so this start is very much about having a very firm understanding of the basics of the game. How far off are we from here? suppose what we could do is just go and loot out that. Some more oxygen down there. There's a lot of oxygen here actually. So I certainly want the oxygen. I'm just going to land here. Ah. Why can't that not me? I should be able to empty. Why won't it let me? I wonder if I salvage out that. That's better. Oh, we got one out of there. I think what I'm going to do is we're just going to come here, turn the thrusters off and the lights. And I think I've got my tent with me. Yep. Our computer stored in my. I got plenty of food, so let's just see if we can get a bit of daylight here. Hasn't really changed it that much, but it's a little bit better. Come in here. We'll just put the meds in here. I mean, I'm gonna have the ship with me, so why am I lugging all this around? Actually, why have I got 12 of these? Where did all those come from? Just drop some of these down a bit. I think that's about it. Trainer controller. We'll put the cores in as well. Probably have to put some of this stuff up in the workshop if we gets too kind of overloaded. I see another oxygen cache down the bottom there. There's a bigger one down here. Something over that way. Where? 858. Oops. So we've now got 16 oxygen. A little bit more water. And we've got nutrient solution as well. I mean, I could take these apart. I mean, just to show you. I mean, probably a little bit antisocial, but this is something you may have to do if you're in the basics of survival. Okay, I'm kind of parked myself in a slightly awkward situation here. So I'm just going to go in the tradesman's entrance. Got a couple more passage device. Wouldn't mind some oscillators if they can find them. In quite a lot of matrices and motors. And just grab here. Electronics. Well, we'll take everything. I could always do with a second motorbike. Now, another thing with respect to the hard start is that one of the key elements of survival is how close these are to the cryo facility. So this would be a pretty good start actually, because you've got Hongo, an engine compartment, an old farm, and a crash cockpit, all within fairly close range of the cryo chamber. And if you're unlucky and say your only survival one is the crash cockpit out here and none of these other three exist, then life could be very difficult. Anyway, let's go and check out Hongo. something just beyond as well. I mean, I'm not going to spend too much time on checking all these out individually. Otherwise, this will be a 3-hour video. Never remember. Oh, there's the way into Hongo. I must admit, I am a little bit rusty on the starter POIs because, of course, with the new setup, you don't actually use them that much anymore. Get a couple of grow plots. There's the core. Oops, fill up again. Biofuel, bike, oxygen. I've got a feeling we're not going to have a shortage of cores at this rate. We can take that as well. And you can see we've got some more anti-radiation treatments. Oops. Solar panel there. Take that. And that's as we can take the door and the light and the other door, and there's some oxygen here. I doubt very much. No, it's not going to give us the oxygen there. What we got here, we've got a junkyard. This looks pretty big actually. As I say, these junkyards don't show up on the map. Just to show you here. See? So you've literally got to go by visual inspection. And I think they've got admin cores in, so you can't actually take them apart. But we should be able to get some. Again, it's all pretty low level loot, but seeing we're just exploring, might as well just take what we can. No, let's done that one. Another one here, and fibre optic cables. Number 10 computers. We got, yeah, wow. They're not all the same as well. Some junkyards are quite small, others are quite big. Some even have oxygen in them. More motors. I think that's about it. Get it. Oops. Yeah, let's just keep flying around. Engine compartment, supplies. I can't remember. I can't remember which ones I've been to now. Although I don't. At the end of the day, it isn't the end of the world if I don't collect everything in sight. Because what I'm more interested in is what's out beyond the immediate area. Because my play of this start has always been very restricted to the initial area round, and so let's just fly. If we fly west, we can pick up stuff. What's here? What's this? Absolutely no idea what this is. Just have a quick look. It's like a fuel tank sat in the middle of nowhere. Can we actually get fuel out of this? Yes, we can. Didn't know that. Never seen one of these before. Well, we got 12 fuel. Whoops. So these are the type of goodies that you will find around here. We'll just keep going west. It says south and west. That seems to be the biggest concentration of things of interest. There's a little bit of pentaxid down there. So you can get pentaxid on this planet. Let's just keep flying west and north for the moment and see what we can find. Looks like there's a great big crater here. Wow. I like that. Right, we found another supply cache. Another supply cache. Well, we'll drop down and see where we are on the map. So we're kind of pushing this way. Seeing we're here, we might as well take what we can find, just to make the trip worthwhile. I'm going to need to keep an eye on the fuel. I'm going through quite a lot of fuel here. Got some fiber optics and what they're called, I can never remember them, what they're called, energy matrices. And we'll just take that. I don't think we need a portable heater cooler and a portable constructor. We'll leave that for another unfortunate survivor. Let's have a look round. Just curious to see if there's anything that can be picked up around here. Okay. What's the crystal here? It's probably going to be pentaxid. Yep. Wow, we got one little bit of raw pentaxid. What's that over there? I think this is a natural stimulant as well. Looks a bit like a natural stimulant. Yep. So again, this is something that's you're going to need to collect when you're out here. As you can see, the temperature's minus 16, minus 17. I know it doesn't seem very much, but if you're in a medium suit with no boosters, that will make quite a big difference. And we'll just move on. Actually, there's some. We've got a little bit of crop of raw pentaxid here. So maybe I'll just grab the pentaxid while we're here as well. Because I burnt, I think it was about nearly 80. What we got? I think I burnt nearly 80 pentaxid fuel to get here. So we're going to have to recharge on the pentaxid before we leave. But I'll probably do a lot of that off camera. Wow, I took a lot more damage than I thought I was going to do. Why have I got 2 grow plots on my hotbar? It's going to annoy me. Oops. Container controller. We're just going to... I've got 9 cores now. I've got a feeling after exploring this planet I'm not going to suffer with a shortage of cores. And of course we're just going to give this the old once over. More entry matrices. And we got an RCSs here. And this is more of a hangover from the pre-CPU days. Another core. Another there. I mean, we're getting a bit low on food, so... we got a small vessel starter as well. That'd be useful, finding that. That would be a big gain if you were playing this in survival mode. Is actually finding a small vessel starter kit. So that would save you a vast amount of resources. See, we're overheating a little bit here, but for me it's a problem. But if you're in starter mode, that would be something that you would want to do, is overheat yourself. Where are we going to go now? Oh, another wrecked small vessel. I think we're going to take a look at that. Bridge. Pop that up. Put that in there. Container controller. I think what I might do is we're just gonna put some of this stuff in. Some of the more minor. Keep the grow plots. We can put the RCSs into. Oops, can't. That doesn't want it. Okay, thank you, game. Right, so we're just gonna drop down on the small wrecked vessel here. Probably loot out the whole of this. Here. Switch on main power first. Press F to use the outage. Well, that means there's somewhere in here is a small constructor. Got some more ore. Well, it's only cobalt ore. A little bit of promethium. An ammo box here. Well, we'll take the shotgun shells. Planks. Actually, what we should do is... No, we can't retrieve them anyway. Fridges. Grab that. Another RCS. Small thrusters again. This is something that if you're scraping around here in survival mode, looking to find a way, these small thrusters would be very useful. I mean, that would be a really big find, actually, finding thrusters. Scope round, see if there's anything else here. Don't really need the steel plates. I want to get too close to my ship. I'm probably taking blocks off the ship. Where's my ship gone? There it is. And we got a couple of spotlights, another RCS, and wow. And we got a generator. I suppose. Well, we can put the. Okay, we're just going to put these up into the... I don't think you can put a small starter kit into the factory. We'll give it a try, just out of curiosity. I don't think it's actually going to work, but you'll probably tell me that... Oh no, you can put a small starter kit into a factory. We've got so much iron in here, but when we've got cobalt, carbon, silicate... Yeah, but the real problem is the small optronic bridges. It still says there's stuff to do over north. Well, it looks like there's another one here. There's another small wreck vessel, which is this way. I mean, it's not the one I've just been to, is it? Wow, you see it appear out of the ground there. Well, we'll check this one out. Oops. I think we can just do a quick flyover and see what we can get. Just salvage, I think. A mobile constructor. If you were really pushed and building a small vessel, finding that mobile small constructor would be a really big thing. Oops. Probably gone down underneath. There is. Now, the problem I'm going to have is I do another one, it might drop down on top of it. We'll give it a go. Nope. Oh. Nothing particularly special. What's that? One silicon ingot. Wow. Always wanted one silicon ingot. Got underneath there. Up the spotlights. Kind of just looking around for the thrusters. Like this one may not have thrusters on it. I mean, I don't really want to waste cores on it. Ventilator there. Oh, there we are. There we are. Found the thrusters. Can we retrieve them whole? Nope. That is. Oh, no, there's another one there. And there's an RCS up there. I suppose, truthfully, I should have called this and got the... Anyway. But it's something you would do in survival mode, is core it, because what you would actually want is those items. Now I'm aware time is pushing on, and we've still only barely scratched the surface of this planet. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to go north and we'll check out these couple of areas here. We got some stuff to the north and stuff to the east. Maybe we'll go slightly northeast and see what's this direction. And here we go again. More motors. Certainly going to take all that lot. More electronics. And that one there. Bit of a tail that I would want to clear off there. It still says there's something to the east, so I'm just going to go to the east. Another supply cache. Thank you. We're really expanding this area here. There's a little bit of pentaxid just behind us as well. Found the ship. Go and grab the raw pentaxid. And just get back here. Of course, what I'm going to need to do is, well, don't need that connected. I'm going to have that. Radiation immunity shots. Some emergency rations. Some hot beverages. Another core. And... I wonder if we can put these in the... Let me put these in the factory. What do they say? Waste not, want not? No. No, item not accepted. I suppose it's to be expected because those are items made in the survival suit. So they're not strictly rated. I mean, that would be a good find, what I just did there. I know it was only a multi-tool, but again, if you find these multi-tools in when you're on this survival planet, it will make a big difference. I got a small generator, wow. Okay, we're gonna have to... We do it this way. Yep. Pause. Small generator. again, I think that we can put this up into the workshop. The base starter kit. Interesting. I think we'll just shove these straight up into... I mean, I've got no real use for them, so... we can just keep adding to... Actually, what is this? This is the blister. What I want to do is change to... if we go to capital vessel. I think we go to the rack hive. Yeah, that's... devs and Alpha 12 permitting. I would love to build that hive ship, but I've got a pretty big suspicion that I'm not going to have the time to do that. And of course, we're going to have to collect vast amounts of resources to get that built. So we're just going to go out here. Just going to grab that. And we've got one more cache up here. Right, I think this is going to be the last cache for the video, because this is not exactly that exciting. And I'm just going to go around and grab this. I think we've all got a pretty good idea now of the type of resources we're going to find in these caches. From my perspective and from the point in this Let's Play, that yeah, they're not particularly that useful, but from perspective, if you were in the survival mode for this, each one of these will be a major treasure. Just drop that down on there. Actually, can you get in there? Yep. Yeah, so these caches will be absolutely vital to go and explore them and get them opened up. And okay, we'll just drop you down there. And hot beverage. All there. Actually, let's just get rid of these multi-tools. I don't need them. So we can put these on here, and hopefully we'll be able to drop them into here. I know it's all a little bit of resources, but we might as well put them to good use. I mean, I've got a base starter kit. Yeah, might keep that for sentimental. I think this is where I'm going to leave the video. Hope you enjoyed it. Hope you found it interesting. What I will do off camera is carry on exploring this planet as much as possible. See if I can find anything else of interest. If I find something that's really interesting, what we'll do is we'll start the next video with a review of what I actually found on the planet down here. So this is where I'm going to leave it. Hope you enjoyed the video. Hope you found it interesting. And until next time, whatever you do, enjoy your gaming.